Hello. Hello. I have Pearl Bates with me today for our interview. Pearl is an artist. She is a painter. And tell us more about your work, Pearl.
Hi, Alison. I'm so excited to be here with you tonight. Thank you for having me on. And yes, I've been an artist literally for as long as I can remember. My earliest memories are of me scribbling away on the kitchen table. And I used to draw a lot of dancers, ballet dancers, and ice skaters. And I'm still doing it now. Um, so I guess when people ask me to describe my style of painting, I tend to say I take a lot of inspiration from the golden age of illustration, which was around the end of the 1800s up to around 1930. And one of the most famous artists from that period was Aubrey Beardsley, who was actually a Brighton resident. And so if you sort of think of old-fashioned fairy tale illustrations, that's kind of the vibe. And then I mix that with influences from contemporary cartooning, like Gerald Scarfe, political cartoonist, and then give it my own special flavor. And that's it's always easier to show people than tell people, but I think that pretty much sums up what I do. So yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. It's really lovely to have you here. And obviously, we're on a radio, so the listeners can't look at
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
And So it's quite interesting when you mention Aubrey Beardsley, because we're Brighton and Hove Station, and so
Right.
I think I can picture those illustrations that you're talking about. But
Yeah.
let's try just in case. I mean, I'm not the most visual person anyway, but just in
Uh-huh.
case, what kind of things did Aubrey Beardsley? It's quite nice to hear of a name I've heard before and associated with Brighton. That's lovely.
Yeah.
What sort of things did he illustrate?
So if you saw his work, you'd probably recognize it. I went to see an exhibition of his stuff at the Tate right before the lockdown, which was amazing. And it was all pen and ink, so black and white. A lot of it was quite erotic, um, sort of featuring grand ladies, um, lots of I think queer characters. Ornate opulence was the order of the day, lots of big feathers and um, ornate interiors, big palm tree, that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
yeah,
Yeah. And so were his illustrations going with articles in newspapers or books or
yeah,
where would they use?
he did illustrate books. Was The work was used in advertising a lot, and posters and that sort of thing. I mean, basically, illustrators were the rock star of the day back then, because it was before photography came along. So,
Oh,
illustration was a
wow.
big deal in magazines, posters, um, advertising, anything that needed a visual element, really.
Okay. And so in terms of you and your journey, did you study at university?
Yeah, I didn't study illustration though. I studied theatre design, because I was interested in all sorts of things like fashion and fine art, as well as theatre. I still love theatre. But I just felt that theatre design was like kind of an umbrella subject that encompassed a lot of different areas of art and design. So that's what I went and did. Had a fantastic time. And I have worked in theatre quite a bit throughout my life. And I take a lot of inspiration from the world of theatre. I love being around performers and musicians and dancers and directors and designers. It's a really cool crowd of people and very inspiring. So, yeah,
Mm, mm. So you you play music when you're painting, do you?
always. Yeah, it gets me into a mood. It helps me. I mean, when I'm painting, I go into what they call a flow state where I sort of forget about the real world and just get very immersed in what I'm doing. And music really helps to get me to that place. And sometimes if I'm painting a character that's got a particular kind of uh, mood or ambiance, I'll play a tune that captures that character for me, and I'll have it on repeat for however long it takes to get that character down. So it's a really important
Oh,
element of my
wow.
creativity. Yeah.
Tell me about that. I want to. So you've got a character. That's so interesting. So you're drawing a character, and most of your work are pictures of people, right? They're
Yeah.
people related.
Yes. It's quite what they call narrative, which means that a lot of my paintings and illustrations are uh, telling a story. So there's nearly always a figure in there, either human or animal. So yeah.
And then what? Tell us about the process of when you finding some music. Does like how do you connect to that character and find the music? I want you to tell me about a journey. Just pick one maybe that you recently have worked with in a song.
Yeah, well, these days I often come across odd music through places like TikTok. I mean, there's often like kids just mixing up weird stuff in their bedrooms these days, and they put it out online. And if there's something about it that captures my imagination, it's almost often actually the music that suggests a character to me. And once I've got the music on and I'm getting into it, I start to see a figure and get an idea for what that figure's thinking about or how they're feeling. And it can suggest things like their facial features and how their eyes look and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's almost like that's the magical element that helps summon up these creatures that end up in paintings.
Wow, that's so interesting. And you mentioned TikTok, so you do you tend to like because TikTok's visual, but
Yeah.
it's your ears. Is it? I mean, how would you find that piece of music in the first place that got you to this audio that would create the character? What would, yeah, how would you do that?
Literally just scrolling. I kind of feel like I am very aware of music. Like a while ago, I revisited Sex and the City. I've got the DVDs and I put them on, and I became aware of how great the music was, um, and how it was so atmospheric, and it really helped to um, color the characters and take you into situations that the characters were dealing with. And I actually researched who the guy was who sourced all the music for that show. There's pretty much nothing about him online, but I thought, what a cool job would that be to to look for music, incidental music, to get dropped into a TV show like that. And it's similar when I'm, scrolling on social media. I'm usually just looking for silly stuff to send to my friends, but every now and again I'll come across something I think, what's that music? And I'll track it down on YouTube and find out what it's all about.
Wow, that's so interesting. So we could talk about that because a lot of people have they poo-poo social media and
Yeah,
doom scrolling is the phrase, isn't it? Where you're just like
yeah.
flicking through, and yet here we are. We're talking about you doom. I'm using my inverted comma fingers scrolling, but it's not really doom if it will lead you on a trail towards some music that will lead you on a trail towards a character that will lead you on a trail towards a painting.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I mean, like everyone else, I've recently been diagnosed ADHD, and I'm always going on these, down the rabbit hole, hunting out where this music's come from, who's put it together, um, what other stuff they may have put out. There's like this huge labyrinth network out there, and I don't know. I find it like, where else would I find new music? I'm not really sure. I've resisted Spotify literally until last week because I don't like the way they treat artists. But my brother has very kindly just added me on his like friends subscription. And I have to admit it has been a bit life-changing. But apart from that, where's the best, like radio doesn't play fresh music anymore. There's all this, it has to be paid for. I don't quite know how the system works, but there's tons of amazing music that never makes it to the radio, right? So
Yes, you're right,
how
you're
else
right.
how else do we dig it up?
Well, you know what? I'm really enjoying this because I am not a doom scroller. I
Right.
go onto social media with a specific intent always.
Mm, hmm.
So I don't sort of flick through anything. And I'm always on silent. So I'm listening
Ah,
to. So I don't go on TikTok unless I'm posting something,
yeah.
which I'm not really haven't done for ages, but I intend to. And um, and then when I'm on Instagram, like yeah, it's always silent, and Facebook silent unless
Ah,
it's yeah. So I wouldn't know. I wouldn't find that music. And
that's
now
so
you've said that.
interesting.
Yeah, I'm like, oh gosh. I mean, I'm gonna have to do some TikTok research, musical research.
Yeah.
I won't want to look at it because
Aha.
I'm, I'm so, I'm so all about ears. Like I listen to
Yeah.
audiobooks. I've stopped
Yeah.
watching series, Netflix, because I just listen to novels, and um,
Oh, that's
and so
cool.
really, really interesting that I would have to go on TikTok and let it the algorithms feed me things that I could hear without
Yes.
looking because I don't want to look at all that stuff. I don't want
Right.
like, and what I notice is, algorithms are so interesting because they give you what you want. So when I go on
Yeah.
Instagram, I'm only ever looking at astrology posts, and that's what it gives me.
Brilliant.
Occasionally, a little thing else. Yeah, that's so interesting. I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, because actually, some big records have launched through
They
TikTok,
really
and like you said
have.
about yeah, I have been hired to mimic Sade a few times,
Oh,
and
yeah.
one time there was this one Sade song that was blowing up, and so they asked me to mimic her and sing on it, but then
Yeah.
Sade blocked it. But if Sade hadn't have blocked it, I could have made some proper money. But
Oh.
that's that that remix must have it was
Yes.
formulated on TikTok. So now you've just opened a whole doorway to me to thank you.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? Because it, social media is still such a new thing, and I don't think we've adapted to to learn how to deal with it in a way that's sort of healthy for our brains yet, have we? So I think it's really wise to be careful with it. On the other hand, though, I think you can train those algorithms to give you what you want to see, as you say, with your astrology. And I think with the TikTok in particular, it knows that I want to find music, and it very often shows me singers who are literally just in their kitchen. They're not signed, nobody knows who they are. They're just trying to find an audience. And there's some amazing people out there, really, really talented. So yeah, it's exciting potentially.
Oh my gosh, I bet they do. Listen as well. So there you are. You found a track, and I heard you go into your little rabbit hole to find out who it's by, blah, blah, blah. But there you are, and you didn't have
Yeah,
Spotify, and so now you've this creature, this person, this being has
yeah,
come into your perception,
yeah,
and so you said sometimes you play it on repeat
yeah.
when you're doing this piece of art. And so
Mm.
what do you use to play it on repeat? Is it the TikTok thing going round and round, or have you gone and nerded it out and found it on YouTube? What happens?
Yeah, I usually use YouTube, and there's an option on YouTube where you can put a track on repeat, and I just do that. So fortunately, the my neighbouring flats are empty at the moment, so I'm not annoying anybody. But that's I love to work that way and just get into something in a really deep way. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, so you just taught me something else. I don't know how to put something on repeat on YouTube either.
Ah, I think it's
That's it.
if you're playing a video, there's like some options like a pause button and a stop button, and I think it's the pause button. If you right click it, it gives you an option to there's like a drop down menu appears and there's a loop option, and you click on that.
Hey, people, listeners out there, isn't it so interesting? Here we are, I'm interviewing Pearl Bates, artist, and here she is giving us new information, it's just amazing that we're getting tips and tricks and inspirations from Pearl. That's just great, thank you.
Oh, you're
And so
welcome.
Oh, you then described about not having anyone around on neighbours on either side. Does that mean when you're working on your paintings, listening to your songs on repeat, that it's loud?
I love loud music. It's my one vice. Yeah, I have actually buggered my hearing, but I really love loud music.
Oh wow, that's so interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. I mean, they do say music is the highest art form, and I will quietly agree with that because it's so
Mm.
transportive. It's just, yeah, it's amazing. It can really help you feel what you're feeling. If a
Mm.
singer is singing about something that you're going through, you feel less alone, you feel really understood, helps you process your thoughts. It can make you feel inspired. Um, it's just, yeah, it's just magic. It really is.
Wow. Okay, thank you. I love that. So we talked about music and you mentioned it being the highest art form. Let's get to your art form and it's really fun to play with it because we're not showing anybody. We're on the
Yeah,
radio. So
yeah.
let's see if you can describe or paint an image in our minds of your art with your words.
Okay. Right. So I like to use words like sinuous, um, spidery, splattery, intense jewel-like colors. I take a lot of inspiration from dancers, so my figures are often quite lean and muscular, but I also really enjoy playing with the opposite of that, with really huge characters as well. I tend not to do many people who would fit in what you'd call normal when it comes to size. I really like exploring extremes. One of my favorite things to do is people watch. I love to spend a day in London on a bench with a coffee and just watch people because I see so many amazing things. Like, I just like to take in what people are wearing, what people have done with their hair, the way they walk, the way they use their voices. And I guess all of this goes into some big washing machine in the back of my brain. And when I'm painting, these characters re-emerge, kind of blended together to create new people. But, one of the things I was taught at art school was to keep your eyes open, and you use your ears, I use my eyes, and just to always be aware of what's going on around you and always have a sketchbook with you and to jot down notes and sketches of things that catch your attention. Like, for example, I was on a bus in London around Christmas time and these schoolgirls got on and they were wearing tiny little mini skirts and black ties and black tights, and they'd painted hieroglyphics on their tights using Tipp-Ex, which I thought was genius. And it's just things like that catch your attention that can get folded into illustrations and ideas and character development and that kind of thing.
Okay, I get it. So now you've painted a little bit of a picture in our mind, but I'm looking at what am I looking at on the paper? Am I looking at lines? Am I looking at sushi? I'm looking at what kind of materials? What are you using? Paint? Are you using pastels? Are you using oils? Is there like I feel like there's some lines. Let's describe it a little bit more to
Yeah.
the listeners.
So I usually use what they call quote unquote mixed media. So for me, it's usually acrylic paint, which is it's got really thick consistency, very bright, bold, flat colors. Mix that with ink, which has also got very intense, jewel-like, quite shimmery quality to it. Graphite and pencil. And then sometimes I will cut out things from magazines like jewelry and glue that on and add glitter and bits of gold and stuff like that as well to make things pop. So yeah, I just have fun with stuff and mash it all together and see what works. But ultimately, I'm not one of these sort of serious artists that, uses the oil paint and has a specific type of brush and all of that. I'm more interested in getting across a vibe and a story and a character rather than creating something that's like a serious work of art. Do you know what I mean?
I hear you. So great, thank you. I love our conversation. You have a show coming up, right?
I
Is that right?
do. Yeah, it's part of the Lewis Art Wave, which is like Lewis's version of the Brighton Open Houses. So there's venues open all across the town throughout the month of September. We kick off on the 5th of September, and I think we're open for 3 weeks. Um, and so I'll be exhibiting as part of that. and I'm going to be, our venue is number 123, which is easy to remember. So if you go on the website or get hold of the brochure, we're 123. And we're in a building called the Waterside Centre, which is in North Street, on the Phoenix Industrial Estate. It's a really cool old office building that's now full of artists. And there's about 30 of us that are going to be taking part in this exhibition. So there's going to be tons of cool stuff to look at. There's also going to be a program of workshops and talks. So there'll be loads of interesting stuff to get stuck into.
Oh, that sounds really good. Oh, workshops and talks as well. I'm looking for
Yeah.
talking gigs. I'll have
Oh,
to see if there's
yeah.
a spot for me. Yeah, yeah.
Why not? Why not, Alison?
Now, why not? I'll do it. I'll look. Tell me this. What I love with my interviews, it's super important, is to inspire the listener. So
Yeah.
I would like to let's just imagine the people listening right now, and it's like I like to talk to people who dare to do something that they love. Who, did you have parents saying you shouldn't be an artist? That thing about being a poor artist, or like, how can you encourage anybody who would love to do what you do to
Yeah.
dare to do it?
Yeah. Well, I was very fortunate. I had parents who have always been very supportive, and it hasn't been an easy ride. It's been a scary ride at times. Um, but it's always been important for me to believe in those dreams, which is not always easy to do in a world that wants everybody to be sensible. And I think a lot of people get there. I think everybody's born creative. I think being creative is an essential part of being a human being. So you've definitely got it in you, whatever your passion is, whether it's photography or knitting or um, painting pebbles you found on the beach, whatever it is. It's there waiting for you to open the door to it. Um, and it's not something that you need to make a living at. I think if you're able to make room in your life to um, get involved with your creative practice, it's going to be a really good thing for you. It's going to help you learn about yourself, express yourself, um, get in touch with what it is about you that makes you you. And if someone else enjoys what you do as well, then that's a fabulous bonus, isn't it? So, yeah, I think if you haven't, I'm sorry, I think if you haven't done anything creative for ages, I can really recommend the Julia Cameron book, The Artist's Way, and it helps ease you back into that relationship with your creativity in a way that's gentle and not overwhelming. And you follow these little steps in the course that are really helpful. So, yeah.
Mm, mm, mm. Thank you. And then lastly, the other thing that is great if we're encouraging people is the flow state. You
Yeah.
talked about that at the beginning. And so
Yeah.
to enter into creativity or to find anything that puts you in the flow state
Yeah.
is a great encouragement as well.
Yeah. Well, that for me is where music comes in. Um, back in more tribal cultures, they used drumming, didn't they, and singing to get themselves into an altered state of consciousness. And so that for me is, dance music especially does that for me. Um, this helps you get into that place where you're just really immersed in what it is that you're doing.
Mm, mm, mm. So yeah, that's great. So we could just encourage our listeners to find their way into the flow state, perhaps to just notice when things are flowing and what it
Yeah.
was that made that happen so that it could continue.
Yeah.
And also, lastly, I think it would be nice to encourage people about judgment, like in terms of creating and being if you did feel like making art of some kind that
Mm.
it would be nice to be able to like wash away any sense of judgment of what is good and what is bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there anything you'd say to that?
Well, I had some amazing teachers when I was at college, and they would set up exercises for us that would deliberately make it very difficult to create anything that looked perfect. So we had to draw stuff with our eyes shut. We had to draw stuff with our non-dominant hand. one of the exercises was to draw something without ever taking the pencil off the page. So you would end up with something that looked like a spider's web, really. One tutor brought in 6 foot long bamboo poles with tea bags taped to the end, and we had to draw with those, dipped in little cups of ink. And it was so much fun because that really helped you loosen up and forget about this idea of creating something perfect. And you were deliberately making a mess, deliberately making something scrawly that didn't necessarily make any sense. But the amazing thing was that then when you went back to working on something that you were trying to get to a more polished state, um, it was much better than before. So I think that the more you can find ways to loosen up and lose your inhibitions, the more you make room for something really magical, special to shine through.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, just in terms of abstract art, when you think about it, some people could look at an abstract art and judge it and say it's not, oh, well, that's not, you know. But at the same time, if you were, I'm talking to the listeners now, that if you are just gonna get tea bags and dip them in ink and flip them all over, you know, you could
Right.
do something, and you might find yourself in a flow state because you
Yeah,
might just be having fun and creating and put some
exactly.
music on, and perhaps I love what you said about when you do art, that sometimes you start to learn about yourself,
Yeah.
and I like that too. That's a, how
Yeah,
about using creativity as a way to learn about yourself?
exactly. I think uh, creativity is a really interesting way to connect with your subconscious. And once you've thrown off those inhibitions, things can come out that show you how you've really been feeling. Because often we put
Mm.
masks on, don't we? And we walk around trying to pretend we're different to who we really are, but our art, you can't hide from it. So yeah,
I love that. I love that. Love that opportunity to let creativity show us ways, show us how we're really feeling. I do it with
yeah,
poetry. Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah,
Love that.
yeah. Oh wow, that's wonderful. So Pearl Bates, it's been wonderful to talk to you and
Yeah,
enlightening, which is just
likewise.
delightful. And yeah, so we can see your art if we go to Lewis. For the people, I mean, Code South plays all over the world, and
Yeah,
but it also is a Brighton and Hove station. So anyone in that Brighton area, I think we've been expanding our on digital. We've been expanding our reach, and so we might even reach as far as Lewis now on
oh, cool.
digital radio, but
Okay.
also codesouth.fm as well. So, but what about you, Pearl Bates? Is there
Yeah.
social media, website? Give us some info.
Yes. You can find me at pearlbates.com, and my Instagram handle is also pearlbates. That's Pearlbates. And if you sign up to my mailing list, there's forms on my website. You'll get a free illustrated short story, and I'll keep you up to date about exhibitions and what's coming up in my creative life. So yeah, I'd love to keep in touch with you all.
Oh, that's wonderful. And did you write the short story?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man, well, we run out of time. Otherwise, I'll be asking you all about that too.
Oh, I'll have to come back
Yeah.
another
Oh,
time
well,
then.
yeah. So thank you very much, Pearl Bates. It's been
Been a
lovely talking to
pleasure.
you.
Been a pleasure. Thank you.